He's the guy that started the store in 1892, and that's his wife, Ellen O'Brien.
Was he always like a retailer? Was he at any time a farmer?
He left Douro when he was 19, and he lived in this little white house here next door. He left Douro and he went into Peterborough and started a retail store in there. And it actually was in the Lynch building where Lynch's drugstore used to be on Hunter Street.
Okay.
It was a brand new building, and he was the first tenant there. And he went broke. He loaned out. He gave credit out to people that he didn't know. So he decided that he would do better if he was back home in Douro, where he knew the people and could trust them. He knew the families out here, and it was a better chance for a good start in Douro.
So when did the Douro store open?
1896 it opened. Yeah, and he built it with his own hands, along with some help.
That's right. Groceries, seeds, medicines, and wedding presents.
Yeah, that's good, eh?
That's a good cover. That's like just about everything you could need.
Yeah.
At what time did you do this book? This is minding the store.
Yes, 12 years ago.
Okay, so let me do the math, 2013.
Yeah.
And what prompted that store, this book?
Well, I was always kind of a sentimental person, and I spent all my life in the store. The attic in the store was kind of a special place that I liked to go up there. Even as a kid, there were so many.
Are you talking about right up here?
Actually, was at the back of the building.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, and of course that's where my dad was born, in that room right there, and all his siblings, and later in life, when I was a kid, and of course Grandma and Grandpa were gone, but we used to buy cigarettes and tobacco from, Imperial Tobacco and McDonald Tobacco, and we used to have to get them in good quantities. So we called that the tobacco room. So when the cases of tobacco came in, we would take them up and put them in that room, just have them organized there. And then when you needed more, you'd go upstairs and get some. And there was a tea room up there as well. And that's where, they bought the tea in, they came in wooden cases, and we still have some of the wooden cases. And they were foil on the inside. And it was so, it always kind of intrigued me, and they were very colorful with print on the outside. And all these things kind of, I was sentimental about them all, So anyway, as time went on, I realized there was a wealth of information up there and a wealth of history. And for instance, there are just a couple of items that were there, and you can see 10 cents for 24. Well, that was a regular size, yeah.
And $24.
And a Cadbury snack bar, 10 cents. And I came across these little shoes, and they were in I think you would call that I don't know what you would call
maybe
it.
a card box.
A card box, yeah. Things were often, small things were often kept in thread boxes. There was a dozen spools of thread in a little box like this. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I found these, and I'm thinking that maybe my dad wore them as a baby. I'm not sure, but I know some of my aunts and uncles would have wore them for sure. And I just, it kind of warms my heart to have these things.
Where did you find those?
They were upstairs in the store.
Okay.
And before the fire is when I was doing the books. And I was able to bring over so many things that I wanted to take pictures of, and all the paperwork and all the old ledgers. Like this is a ledger from 1909, and all the old Douro family names are in it. And but one of my favorite stories is there was a lady by the name of Lottie, and she brought in her list. And of course, a lot of things were behind the counter, so she would give Grandpa the list. And this all changed, of course, in the 60s. But she would give Grandpa the list, and she brought in a pound of butter to help pay off her groceries. And of course, they would have cows at home. So anyway, Grandpa looked at the list, and he says, "You've got a pound of butter here on your list. Why would you do that? And you're bringing me in a pound." And she said, "Oh, PG," she says, "there was a mouse fell in the cream can." And she says, "I couldn't eat it." So anyway, Grandpa, I give him great credit. He was not very often deceitful, but he took the pound of butter to the back of the store, and he rewrapped it and sold it back to her. But there's so many tales that people have told me about from outside the family, about things that went on at the store. Well, with this photograph right here, I found this in the upstairs of the store. This is Johanna Sullivan, who came out on the Regulus, and her parents were Darby Sullivan and Alice Kelly, or Jeremiah Darby Sullivan and Alice Kelly. That's P.G. Towns's grandmother, my grandfather's grandmother. And so she died in the 1890s.
And she would have been a child then when she came?
Yes, she was a child, and Darby Sullivan was age 50, and he was a little older than their average, the people that they wanted here, but apparently he was very well known for his skills in agriculture, and that's how he got to come with his children. And there were 8 children, and he died on the boat, and you couldn't see land, and normally they would dump the bodies overboard because of fear of the disease spreading. And she hid his body for 2 days, so he's buried along the St. Lawrence River, as far as I know. He had teenage sons, and they ended up on farming here. In the back of it, there's a newspaper, I think, to bulk it up. There's a newspaper from 1925. So I'm just guessing that my grandfather, P.G. Towns, put this together for the celebration of the 100 years of Peter Robinson. And he took my grandma into the Roy studio to get that picture taken. And he also got his own picture taken. But anyway, I'm just quite, I have an appreciation to have this picture and to have all the notes that my dad wrote down. Well, I got a camera when I was in the late 1960s. So anyway, I just can't explain why I had an interest in taking pictures. And I was also, I like to keep my distance with the camera because I know everyone isn't comfortable being with a camera. But, when I look back now, I took some great pictures back in the day. And I really didn't think I was that smart, back then. But anyway, obviously, I have not heard that my grandfather or my great-grandfather George was into history, but I have heard that that my grandfather P.G. Towns was I know that he was right into it because we have a lot of notes by him that I recovered from the store. And so anyway, these are notes of different celebrations and stories of people. Like apparently there was, he names one woman, before he had a store, there was one woman in Douro here that carried 100 of flour on her back from Peterborough. And he has all kinds of things written down. Yeah.
So those always kind of piqued your interest, or it comes
Oh,
naturally
yeah.
for you.
Yeah. And of course, my dad was into that too. And I know I should have asked my dad more when I was young, but I did show an interest in his hobby, and I just find I'm so glad now that I did what I did.
What was his hobby?
Well, his hobby was genealogy.